This conference will now be recorded.
So, bot and botnet. So I guess this has been covered in the security terminologies. So what is a bot and what is a bot? Not so I'm gonna cover here right now. Okay, so what is a bot? Is a bot is simply a piece of software. Again, so it doesn't do any harmful for your organization. It's just sitting in your system, and you know it just performs what the attacker is. It just act according to the attackers or hackers instructions, the bad guy instructions. Okay, right. Here performs. So basically I said like the server will be receiving lots of synchronization packets. Okay, how does the attacker can do this? So here, so this is a server, and the target of the server is something like a Flipkart server. Okay, Flipkart server is a target, and so here, so one of the competitor, maybe anything ABC competitor, give a money to the hacker. The the hacker maintains the bots. It's called as the hacker army. So these people will approach this hacker group or hacker or let's say this is a hacker group called as something AB's XYZ hacker group, and then they will approach for to do the DDoS attack. So DDoS attack, this hacker group, under the control of this hacker group, lot of bots are there. So what do you mean by the bot? So bot is it's a simple script again, which is installed on computers. It is installed on computer and no harmful activity. It doesn't do any harmful activity. Okay, the hacker installed a software. Okay, which this software will be executed whenever the hacker instructed. Okay, right now, so my computer, this is my mobile, even my mobile. Okay, even my mobile. If I know the hacker keeps like when you are trying to access some websites. Okay, when you're trying to access some website, so automatically without knowing you, there will be some software is downloaded. Okay, that may not be identified by your antivirus because it's not a it doesn't do any harmful activity to your system. So that's why your antivirus or other security solutions may not identify. Okay, now your systems, your software is downloaded, and your mobile act as a bot. Bot in the sense simply under the control of, even under the control of attacker in the sense. So the controls are very limited. What control he can do is, okay, just asking your system to send synchronization packet to Flipkart server. Other than nothing. So that is a very simple, very simple instructions followed by this your mobile. So there is no any bigger malicious codes and exploitation, compromise, nothing is there. It's a simple, very simple software which is sending the normal synchronization packet. How whenever you're trying to, usually how you're accessing the Google, right? You're accessing the Google in the sense you're sending a synchronization. Okay, but without your without your intimation or without your accessing, the attacker is instructing your mobile to send us some synchronization packet. Nothing other than nothing, it won't do any harmful. So now your mobile acting as a bot for hacker group. I don't know, even my mobile right now, my mobile, I'm accessing a couple of websites. Okay, so where maybe the software may be downloaded it, and maybe my even my system also acting as a bot to any of the hacker group. I don't know. but there is no any issue with the, other than there is no issue with the your mobile. Even your mobile is also acting as a bot. Okay, that even I don't know. Okay, so because the capabilities of identifying the software is not, it is because it is not that much high. It is not a criticality, or it is not even the medium criticality, or it is not even the low critical, because it doesn't do harmful for your system or your mobile. So that's why. So like that, the hacker groups are maintaining lots of devices. Okay, and this is called as, this is bot, and the whole, whatever the system, whatever the mobiles or systems or whatever the devices they are maintaining under their control, called as bot net. So their network, bot and their network. Okay, so once is one mobile, if it is handled by one, if it is a one system, that is a bot, and group of bots calling as a botnets. Okay, botnets handled by the hacker group. So for example, the hacker is maintaining 10,000 bots. Okay, and the ABC group comes and ask your hacker group to perform a denial of service, so that I will give you some amount, whatever it is, $10,000. Okay, now this guy, hacker group, will take over all the, will instruct all these bots to send a synchronization packet, so that they will all send at a time all synchronization packet, and server will acknowledge along with the sync, but this device will not respond. Got it? So that is a sync flooding attack with the help of the botnets. So that's why it is a distribution of attacks. So many bots are distributing in this attack. So that's why it is a distributed denial of service. Okay. If it is a DOS, just a DOS attack means, okay, denial of service means if one system is performed, one system, you're only one performing on one server by sending a lots of synchronization, that is a DOS. If you are using a bot network, if you're using a botnet and sending a lot of connections, lot of synchronization packet, that is called as a distributed denial of service, because your load and you're giving to a lot of bots. So that's why everybody is distributing their in terms of attack, everybody is contributing or distributing to stop the server. So that is the DDoS. Okay, so next one is, so we have the session hijack, where how does the session hijack works? Now, so here the session hijack is simply, here I have the victim, here I have the server, I have the client computer, that's me, and I'm here, I'm trying to communicate with one of the server. So what happened? Every time when I'm connecting, so automatically when I'm establishing a connection means there will be a session will be created. We all studied OSI layers. So in the session layer, what happened? The session has been established between your computer to
Chrome.
server. Got it? Now, what the attacker will do is, yeah. Any questions? Okay. So here, what the attacker will do is, he will try to guess the session ID. Whatever the session IDs will be there. So it's just guessing. And if he success in the session ID guessing, so he will be take over the communication. Okay. You just take over the communication and he act as a client computer. Okay, now your system doesn't know session ID has been captured by your client computer. Okay, and now what he will do is, so he will also act as the same IP address. Let's say this is 10.0.0.2, the same ID. He also have, and he hijack the session. Hijacking in the sense, so he guessed the session ID of the client and server, capture the session ID. Once he success in the guessing of the session ID, so then your server start communicating with the attackers mission. Now, so every communication is happening between client and server will be routing to your device. So that is the attacker, sorry, not your device, attacker device. So this is a session hijacking. So we have a tools are there. So to do that, so there will be a couple of tools are there to, so I'm even, for example, even I'm communicating to Google server. So between I can use a tool called as a burp suite, and I'll just hijack I'll just get the session ID and then I'll try to, communicate like a client computer. Okay, and every information. So here what happens? The server, let's say you have requested some information from the server. Now that requested information will be passing to the server, will be passing to attacker's device. So the same here. The process is called. So what you are doing here, you are doing IP spoofing. So you're spoofing the IP of client computer. Okay, and then after that you are hijacking the session. Hijacking the sense, just guessing or using a tool called a burp suite and get the session ID and act like a client computer, and then get the information whatever the server you're going in between a client computer and server computer and getting the information. Okay, so that's a session hijacking. Okay, and so next one, so we have another one is it's the password attacks. Password attacks. So one which we already for one example is the phishing attack where, so password attack in the sense, okay, yeah, sorry, it's not comes in the phishing is not comes in the password attack. Okay. So what the password attack is? Okay. So just password attack is something like you have password attack is something you have your device here, your computer is there. Okay. Okay. So what you want to do is, and here you are there. You wanted to access. You have a one password. For example, your friend password is there. Sorry, your friend computer is there, and you wanted to enter into the computer. So you know that he may use as password 1 or password 123. You have a guess. You just try to guess the password and try to log in a multiple times. Okay, the same way what the attacker will do is he just uses a random password. So let's say if this is a server, this is a server, the attacker wanted to log in. What the attacker will do is he have some random passwords. So by default, most of the servers coming with some default passwords. You may or may not, most of the times you may see that many of the devices are coming with default passwords. Your routers, okay, whenever you take a routers or whenever you take Wi-Fi routers or any other devices, when it comes, so they will be giving us some default passwords. Okay, the default passwords you should always change. The people will say that, the vendors also say that. So they will give the one default password, so you must have to change the passwords. So some people, the server, whoever is handling the server, some people they will not modify or they will not change the default passwords. So the default passwords will be as it is, and what the attacker knows the default passwords which is given, which is put by companies, let's say Cisco or Microsoft or any other products. They have their default passwords, okay, which is there in the internet itself. So if you go to the internet and just type default password for Cisco or default passwords for Microsoft or like Microsoft products, okay, you'll get a default passwords which may be a password 123, password 123, or Cisco @123, like that. They will be giving the default passwords. So these guys will take these default passwords. Let's say they have the 100 passwords, 100 default passwords. They just do the they just start. It's not, they will not type any passwords here. So they will use the tools. They will use the tools, and with the help of the tool, so they will upload 100 passwords in the tool, and then once if you click start button, so all the passwords will be going and checking your device. So whether you are able to log in or it checks. If it is a success, it shows success. If it is a fail, you'll be getting a password fail, 100 password. So 99th password is matches, or any of the 50th, whatever the password is matches. So it shows a success. So that's how the attackers will do the password attack. So when they do password attacks, when they are successfully enter into your network and they already compromised your server, so so they wanted to spread their infections. So and they wanted to move to other system. And once they enter into the other system and they wanted to log into that system, means they do the password attacks. So password attacks. So they have the list of passwords with them, with the default passwords. Okay, so the default passwords, they will do the brute force. That's called as a brute force attack. So they will in 1 minute of time, all 100 passwords will go and hit your server, okay, with username and passwords. Okay, then that's it. Okay, you will be, whether you'll be able to log in or not. So that's how you'll be, that's how again, so you may have a doubt here that the what is the username. So username is always administrators. So servers is always using either admin or administrators. Okay, so like that they will be using the usernames. So that is also, they will do guessing. Okay, most probably they know that what is the in the once they enter into the network, so they already know the what are the groups are there, what are the admin groups are there. So once they get to know that this is the admin group, they use that username and random passwords, whatever the default passwords, just do an attack. Just throw all the passwords to the server in one shot, and if any one is matches, yes, he success and he's able to log in. If he's not, yeah, so we can again. So he come up with after some time he come up with another default passwords what we have, or another he take another few more passwords, and then he started doing. Okay, so that's how the passwords attacks will be happen. Okay, here again the brute force attack. Okay, so we have a we have a different types of uh, passwords are there. Okay, so that one is brute force and the dictionary based attacks. So both are comes again. So again, both are belongs to the guessing of the passwords. So it's just guessing, and they're not aware of any of the passwords. So, but here in a dictionary based, so what they will do is they have again they have the default passwords they will do with default passwords what we have, and the brute force is something like, so it's not a default password. So they are just guessing that this might be the server password. Okay, so you understand the difference. So here the difference is Dictionary based attacks are something like default passwords. So the attack coming up with a default passwords which are there in a which are usually there in the devices. Okay, any of the, let's say he's targeting Cisco device, Cisco router. So he wanted to enter into the Cisco router. So they will check, they will go to the internet and they will see that what is the default password used by the Cisco router. Okay, even you can search in the Google and find it out that what is the default password for the Cisco router. So you will get a lot of different kinds of passwords used by the Cisco routers. You'll be getting a lot of passwords. So with that, they will do that. Okay, in the brute force attempt is something like you are just guessing. Okay, yeah, this might be okay. This might be the password. Password. Okay, password at rate or password. Oh, this they are in this company because administrator changes the default passwords, right? So what might be the password? The password might be okay. So they are in the company called XYZ company. So maybe the password might be XY at the rate of XYZ at the rate of 1, okay, or XYZ. Like that's how the attacker guesses the passwords here. Here they will guess what might be the password. Okay, for example, let's take Gautam or Surya. So I'm just guessing that their passwords might be their mobile numbers or their date of births or any other things. So whatever might be. So that's how I can guess. So with the guess, I can write a combinations of passwords. Okay, right now I know that Gautam's passwords. So Gautam password is I mean Gautam number, right? Mobile number. So with that, okay, yeah, this will be Gautam at the rate. Okay, is the phone number what at the rate of his number? Maybe that is I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe that. Okay, or Gautam is date of birth. What is the date of birth? 1994 or 5 or something like that. At the rate of 1995. Okay, that's a I have a guess. So with the guess, I can write it down 15, 10, 15 or 20 or 100. How many combinations? Depends on you. So you just take the guesses and just one shot use the tool. There will be a lot of tools are there. Just do it and perform the brute force attempt. Okay, that is a that's how you can perform. But anyway, again, so you made in an organizations even here in Gmail, I don't know about Gmail, but in an organization view, so if you see 5 failed logins, immediately your account will be locked. Correct. Let's say within a very short time, you see that there will be a 5 failed login attempts or 10 failed login attempts. Your account should be locked out. Lockout means so you can't do anything. The attacker cannot do anything if he keeps the password as well. Okay, that's the security policies has been enabled so that you can stop the password attacks on the users. So that's a password attacks which are very common in an organization. So once the attacker enter into your network, so that's how he will do that. Password attacks. So Narendra, I think your index account seems to be wrong. Okay, create a new one or have you logged in your index account?
Yes.
So I don't think so. So he's selling so undelivered to your email. So it might be a wrong or it might be a some other. Just try to create one more after the class. Okay, I'll get it. And yeah, that's about the password attacks. So any questions here?
Naren, these password attacks will be happen after server compromises only, right?
Yes, after server, see, one server is compromised. I wanted to infect other systems. Okay, so I don't know the admin password, right? So let's say my system is infected here. I wanted to spread the infection to other systems. Okay, I wanted to, let's say you compromised normal end user machine. So that's not a server. That is a normal machine. Okay, so once you're already inside, so you already compromised one of the server. Okay, and then you got some information about the network. Okay, this is how the network and this many systems are in this specific subnet, and here is the server is located. Okay, so that's how. So without in the network, so if you're not compromising normal user, or I mean, if you're not entering to any other mission, normal user mission, so you cannot see what is there in the what are the other systems are in the network. So once you compromise a normal end user mission, okay, now so you have to search what are the systems are there in the network. In that network, what are the servers are there in the network. Okay, so that's a reconnaissance that is called as a reconnaissance, which you're doing internally. So two types of reconnaissance. What I told in the cyber kills and reconnaissance, that is you're doing an outside. So here it's not a reconnaissance; it's called as a scanning. So you're performing a scanning activity. What are the available devices in the network? So you found that one of the server is there, and one of the server is there. So you have to infect that server, or you have to infect other devices as well. You have to enter into that server, then you get a more sensitive information. So that's why what you're gonna do is, so you are taking your whatever the exploit or whatever the payload, which will be further sending into that server, and now so you have to log in the device. You have to log in the device means what you have to do is you have to start doing the password attacks. Password. I have to know. I have to go to that system. I need proper credentials. I need admin credentials to enter into. Or if you enter a normal user as well. For example, the server is even the server can be able to enter into the normal user as well. So you have a normal access, but with a normal access you enter into the server, but you cannot do anything with an admin access. So let's say if I wanted to if I wanted to access some sensitive information in the server, so you must need an admin credentials, right? So admin credentials with an admin credentials, so you need an admin credentials means you have to do some guessing of the. So yeah, that's how so you have to be, and mostly even from the outsiders. So it's in the internal. So this is what I told you. Internal. Even you can outside. So there will be a couple of servers are exposed to the internet. Let's say so you're accessing a couple of servers. Let's say yeah, the Flipkart and Amazon, HDFC. They are exposed to the internet. Their website is exposed to the internet, but they have a limited. They have visibility is very less to the outsiders. So what these guys will do, they may use different passwords, and even if let's say, for example, I have my net banking ID. So you know my net banking ID, but you don't know password. Okay. So now what you're gonna do is, so you can use a tool, or you can randomly try a number of passwords and try to enter. Okay, that is the way. The same way the attackers also knows your automation servers, internet exposed servers. They also tried from outside with the help of tools. They just try to do the password attack. And from internal side, from internally means what are the systems? So usually we will be getting an alert. One of the guy was trying to log in another systems and getting a failed multiple times. Okay, that's because of, so he was kind of you know uh, what we call it as something, he was accessing some resources from the website, sorry, from that server. So for that he has to use the username and password to get the access. So there he is failed to verify the username and password. Okay, and then we will be getting a failed login attempt. But every failed login attempt is not an attack. So you have to verify it in terms of anti, in terms of company. So they may be accessing them, their passwords may be an expired. So that's why no, whenever they're trying to, let's say if your password is an expired in the Gmail cases, or another whatever, I don't know about the Gmail passwords expired, they will not expire anyway. For example, in an organization, it will be there. They will be enforcing these policies. So your password may be maximum age will be a 30 days. Your password. So let's say my company, my account password will be expired after the 30 days. So if I after the expired, if I keep on trying with the old passwords, so I mean it is a failed login attempt. So if I tried it 5 times, 10 times, okay, that is also that is also for other people's that may be a risk, but for me when I'm doing this means because my password is expired. Okay, that's why. So in a security world, we will be seeing a lot of false alerts. False means it looks like a attack, but when you go through, when you investigate, so you see that it might be a some application level issues or many other reasons. It depends on the type, depends on the application whereas depends on the situation. We can say it as a situation. Okay, so this is how usually we have a security policies as enforces that if this many passwords attempts happen from external people, outside people, so immediately lockouting policies are there. Okay, yeah, that's how basically the password attacks happens. Any questions again? Okay, so we have we already discussed phishing, I guess. Yeah, phishing is also done. So we have the web application attacks. So we're going to discuss the important. We have the top 10, but so what is required for the security operations? Okay, so security operations centers. We have to look at few attacks, especially the SQL injection attacks and cross-site scripting. Okay, these kinds of alerts we used to get it frequently. Okay. So cross-site scripting. This is a web-based attack. Cross-site scripting. So cross-site scripting is what is that is so simple. So you have your what is that web application, right? Let's say I have the web application here. For example, this is a website. So every website, so if you see, go to the view source page, you have the what is the behind the code has been written. Correct. So what happens that the hacker, so they just keep their malicious script. Got it? So this is a genuine script. Okay, this is genuine script. In the genuine script, Okay, he also keeps, the attacker also keeps his own script. So then what happens once, if you keep his scripts, if your web application or if your website is executing these source code, so whenever you try to access this website, this source code will be executed and will be displayed the web page. So now what the attacker will do is he just plays in this source code, he just plays his malicious script, and after that what happens, so whenever you execute, let's say if you give some username and password, okay, to this website, for example HDFC Bank is an example, or any other bank is an example. So if you give the username and password, okay, you have your script which is there inside of the source code, and in the website, whenever you give the username and password or whatever it is, when you execute something or when you try to connect to any other from the website, so the automatically source code will be executed. Along with that, the malicious code is also executed. Then then the attackers, whatever the username and password which you have given, or the session which is created between you and the server, XYZ server, XYZ bank server, and that session IDs will be captured. Okay, at the same time, the passwords will be captured. The malicious script capture the all username and passwords, and also capture the session which is created between you and the bank server, whatever you have access to. At the same time, cookies is something like, let's say if I access Facebook and I just close the Facebook application in the browser. For example, in my Chrome, I have accessed the Facebook and I have not logged out. Okay, and whenever again I log in, I don't need to go back and I don't need to give the username and password if I'm not logged out, Facebook or Gmail. So you don't need to give the username and password every time. So whenever you have the application, and the first time when you give the username and password, it will be logging in, and if you log out, then only the next time it will ask the username and password. Otherwise, it will directly log in. So how does it is happen? So they have the cookies. Cookies are there. Cookies are alive. So the sessions are alive. Cookies are alive. So that what happens whenever you go to access a Facebook, automatically the Facebook will come up without giving the username and password. The same way Gmail as well. The same way another websites. So the session IDs, cookies will be alive. So what happens? So whenever you whenever you do this, whenever you access the Facebook or whenever you access the Gmail, and these cookies and these the session IDs will be always there, alive, and these, what is the functionality of this cross-site scripting? To capture the or stealing of your credential, I mean your passwords, or your even the browsing history also will be captured. Okay, and even some cases it is also captured the session IDs, the cookies. Cookies is something like, that's what cookies is something like, yes sir, capturing of your whatever the sessions are, live sessions, whatever you have not logged out, so that will be captured. So that is a cross-site scripting. So here, if your website, or if you do these, if any of the website, if you do this, so what happens that your website is executing, that means your website is vulnerable to this attack, cross-site scripting attack. So now this sites, whatever the bank website or anything, if I keep it, so let's say I'm just adding something here. Maybe I cannot edit. Maybe I cannot edit. But there is an editing options also there. Let me try it in the lab section where we have a lab. Sorry. Something I'm editing, but we have an editing, so you cannot edit here. But there was another tools, we can use the tools and we can edit it. Right now we cannot edit this. So basically the attacker uses the tools to edit this, and then they just keep it. So if it is executing means your website is vulnerable to. So your website is vulnerable to the cross-site scripting. They can capture the session IDs, cookies, so that they can take advantage. So let's say if they capture your Facebook cookies, so that they can take over your. So they don't need to log in, because the sessions are, if they're stealing your cookies, they're stealing the session IDs, so they don't need to log in at all, because the session is alive. You're not logged out, and they capture your session. They capture your they take over your cookies. So with the cookies, they just open your session directly. They just open your Facebook directly, or whatever the website you have access to. Okay, that's a cross-site scripting. So if your website, whatever your design website is, directly executing a script means you have to, your server is, your website is vulnerable. Okay, you have to patch it. You have to be patch it that, so that nobody can execute their own script in your source code, in your website source code. Okay, you don't see right now, but we have a couple of websites. Usually a couple of websites are there, and because of poor designing of the website, or a lot of other reasons, the developers have not developed properly the website, and there is a couple of bugs in the website. That's how they can attacker take out take the advantage of that bugs. Okay, it all comes under web application security. Okay, and the next one is the cross-site. After cross-site scripting, there will be a SQL injection attack. So SQL injection attack is something. So SQL injection is something. So here you have your server, and when some web application is there. Okay, this is server and the web application. In the very so you wanted to log into this server, so you have a username and password. So in the username and password, they use a SQL language. Instead of your username and password, they use a SQL language, SQL queries. Okay, and then what they will do, they will give some special characteristics, slash, colon, like these, and this couple of SQL queries, and then they just put it in the field, username and password field, and so these username and password will be going to the server for validation, the server to validate the username and password. So what it will do, because of these SQL queries, so the server will be replying to a one error message. Okay, so the error message, this error message will be the clue for an attacker that this server is vulnerable to this attack. Let's say, okay, the error message says that your SQL query slash colon is not validating. You have to use another way to log in, like that. We have the practical session. I'll show you that what kind of errors we can get it. Okay, the next session we will gonna show that. So whenever you execute the SQL commands or a special characteristics, so what error will be coming up? That error is a clue for an attacker to gain an access to that server. Okay, So what you have to remember right now is, okay, so if it is good to see in the practical wise, in terms of it's a theory, it would be much effective. So what you have to remember is, here in the SQL injection attack, there is a web application or there will be a website. The website, you are giving the instead of to log in username and password, you are using the special characteristics, and special characteristics is like colon, slash, okay, double quotes. So these kind of special characters you are entering to the user input fields. Okay, username and passwords are the input fields to give the username and passwords. So they are the input fields to log into the server. Okay, now so you given the username as the colon, slash, and other SQL commands in the password field. So the server will validate these whatever the username and password which you given, and so because of these special characteristics entered, so it throw back an error message. You won't be login, you cannot be able to log in, but whatever the error message throw back, it is throwing back that error message will help you to log in without giving username, without giving the username and password. So you have to be capable of understanding that error message, and you are capable of good in terms of, you have to be good in terms of SQL queries as well. Okay, that's a, so the attacker. So attacker is very much good into the SQL queries, SQL language. Okay, so that he will be successfully analyze that error, and then he will be able to enter it that specific. So we'll see that one real-time example, one specific examples. Okay, how we will be, how we gonna do the attack. Now,
I mean, if you 100 users were registered for this website, particular website, SQL, I mean,
I'm not
talking
able
of
to
SQL.
hear. I'm not able to hear some noise.
Okay. My doubt was 100 users were registered for
Nothing.
particular website.
I'm not hearing. I'm not hearing some noise coming in the background here.
Now,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, 100 users were registered for the particular website. If you are trying to access through SQL queries, I mean, just you are giving special characters, and the system doesn't know whose username it is, right?
See, special guarantee. It's not. That's why it is throwing error back to you.
Okay. I mean, how the system is knowing that this person is going to log in?
Actually, your question is not clear. The question is, see,
Okay.
user every. So if the server is there, so every user and their passwords are there. So let's say, so I'm authorized to an organization. Let's say you have a HDFC account or you have a bank account. So you have a username and password, right?
Yes.
You have registered, because how you got the username and password? Because you have registered in the bank. So you have registered that. So my amount or something is coming to your account. So that's why you have registered a bank. So once you register, you got the some ID with a password, right? So same way, if I wanted to access the Gmail, so then you have a one ID and password. So whenever you try to log in, so you are giving your identity. So you are giving what's your identity as your name, or whatever the bank has giving us some customer ID, and then you have some password. Okay, once you give the password, so the server will be validating your username and password with the database, what the server maintaining the database. So and with the database having all the their customer IDs and passwords. So once you execute once you give your username and password, it will be going to your database, and whether it is matching or not, the password whatever you have given, it is matching with the database password. If the password is matches, you'll be getting a login screen. Right now, here in the SQL injection, the attacker doesn't know who is the username, what is the user, what is the password. For example, HDFC Bank. You took an example, HDFC Bank. So you give a special characteristics, colon, slash, and then you give us some SQL commands, and then try to log in. Okay, the user field, username and field, password. And so you cannot log in. You cannot log in. Okay, so you have your server, SQL server, and the SQL server. So you may, or I don't know what is your background, but you have a server, SQL server, and then after that there will be a database. So whenever you give a username and password, it will go to the your server and validate your details, and then only you can go to database. Correct. So because the database contains the data, all the data. Let's say I want to get the historical transactions of my bank. Okay, so where is the information is there? Database contains the complete history of your transactions. Where is your passwords are stored? The SQL or whatever server in front of database, there will be another server which validate all the your credentials. So now you given your username and password which are not validated, which are not correct. So the server will be responded to you that some error message that password is wrong or something like that. But when you give the special characteristics, so you'll be throwing back some different error message. That error message will help you to analyze will help you to bypass your server and directly enter into the database. Correct. So you're bypassing your server and directly enter into the database. So the database have all the information. Correct. So say that. Say here you have your website. So website is connected to the server. So server will validate. Here is the database. Database contains all the information about the user, historical information, transactions, everything. So the website here contains the input fields, username and password. Now you give the username and password, and then the server will validate. If your everything is fine, then only will be able to access the database. Now you're in here you're giving you some special characteristics. The server will reply back with some other message. If you are very good in terms of understanding, analyzing the error messages, that error message contains a clue to bypass a server. We cannot say clue. That is some kind of vulnerability. Okay, that is some kind of vulnerability. We can say, let's say, people used to say that a couple of guys don't know how to. Let's say a couple of guys, generally, I'm talking generally. So if a couple of guys don't know, and I'm just telling, a couple of guys don't know how to tell the lie. So they don't know how to tell lie. So when you go and ask them, you're something like if you see in the movies and all. So the father says that to the father, their son that somebody came and somebody in the outside calling to his father, and his father says to his children that just say that I'm not here in the house. So he will go and say what he is gonna say. My father says that he's not in the house. So then he is understand. The guy was understand that he was telling, oh yeah, father is telling that he is telling to his son to say so this is how the same way here, this is giving an error message. You're not able to log in because you're giving some special characteristics here and try to log in. You're not able to log in here, but it is giving a clue or it is giving an error message which is helpful for you to bypass this server. One of the server is there, you can get an error message that will help you to bypass this server so that you can directly enter into the database without without giving a proper username and passwords. But anyway, right now nobody, so which means that this is a basic understanding. Now most of us, if you go to the HDFC and you will give you special characteristics like // and a couple of the SQL commands, and then the bank will throw back to you something SQL what is that SQL error message, and so you can take an approach. So, but they are well secured now, so they will be they will be whitelisting all these this command whatever the / and special characteristics you won't get because they are well secured, right? This is a basic understanding. What I'm telling is a basic understanding of what is a SQL injection. This is how SQL injection works. And right now, all the security, whatever website, the very good websites like the what is that popular websites and all, they're not. You have to verify it. You have to look it into more and more. How does if I'm giving this command, so what is happening in the user fields? So you have to look it out. You have to. So it's a very big concept. SQL injection, the cross-site scripting are so very big concepts. Okay, so still the people are doing the cross-site scripts, cross-site attacks on websites. So the companies will pay amount to. It's a bug bounty program. So the company will offer, hey, if you find any issue in my website here, so there's reported to me, so I will give a $100, $200. It depends on the type of company. Some companies offers if you found a bug in my website, I will give you a $100. Okay, like that the people offer money, and then the people like a security researchers, they will start analyzing these kinds of websites. They will be looking at the websites and then they'll see if there was any issues with cross-site scripting. This website is vulnerable to the cross-site scripting, or this website is vulnerable to the SQL injection. They will be start investigating. That's a very bigger concept. You have to be a very dedicated for that. You have to be your mindset should be a research oriented mindset. Okay, so that's how the bug bounty program works. Okay, and they will be getting the money. If depends the Facebook, if you found a big thing in the Facebook, big vulnerabilities in the websites, so they will give you $10,000, $1,000. Okay, depends on the type of issue you found. So they used to give an amount to you as well. Okay, so that's a bug bounty thing. So the bug bounty is completely on web application security, web applications, websites, focusing on the websites. But what are the loopholes are there in the websites? So you have to identify and then you have to submit to them with a proof of concept. So you have to give the proof as well. Yeah, so I can do this kind of attack on this website. We have to give the proof, then they will give the money. Okay. So that's all. So we have 1 second. So this is the phishing. So I have to do the changes here still. So I will share a separate another document. This is I did not share right now. So we have some official office related information is there. I cannot share this document right now. Okay. So the first step, what you have to do as a security analyst, you have to we already given the link, extract the link, but in an office side, so you have to extract the link. So you have to encode with a proof point. Okay, that may be anyway. Once if you go to the real time, that you can understand because the emails are coming via SMB email gateway. So that's why the proof point link will be added. You have to decode it. Okay. So what we have done it, we started from here. So whatever the decoded URL from proof point, we already we already took the decoded URL. So now after decoding the URL, you have to use these links. Okay, so you have to use the below links to verify, and you can use here the kind of tools Lambda test, like a browser stack what we have seen. So like that, the open real-time behavior of the URL. So you can see the real-time behavior of the URL with the help of these tools. So out of this, browser stack is the efficient tool. So which use that, you can use that. These all are kind of trial versions. Maximum it comes at 10-15 days. So after that you cannot use. Okay. So after that, so once you identify the link, what kind of link it is and what it is doing, so you have to take a necessary actions. So and then a company, you have what actions you have to take. Okay, so that's what it is mentioned. So so if you want to check the IP again, so you have to use these tools again. Okay, and what action you have to take. So this is the company to company change. So this is my company. This is our process. This is the company process. Palo Alto Firewall to see any other, maybe the company people, 100 people have received that. So how does you can check how many people are connect, how many people are clicked the link? How do you check? So you have your perimeter firewall, because if anybody is connected, if anybody click the link, so automatically what happens? The connection has been established to the malicious URL, means attacker's URL. So you have to see the connections from the firewall, because the firewall, every traffic will be passing through the firewall, because the firewall is the first device in the network. So whenever you try to access the website, the connections will be passes through the firewall, and the firewall will be monitoring all your traffic. Okay, now you can go and see who all are accessed this website from the firewall, because with the one person, let's say 100 people receives the email, so only one person reported to you that this is a phishing email, and the other 99% they are not reported. Out of that, maybe a couple of people click on the link and they scared about it, and so they just scared and they didn't inform to anybody, because a couple of people will be very scared after clicking the malicious link. They were just quiet, keep quiet. They are already compromised, but they were just keep quiet because they are scared. So you have to verify by going to the firewall logs who all are accessed. So if somebody click, means automatically you have the firewall log entry. So and then you have to take an action. So this is how the information which is given here. So again, you have to do the scanning of the machine with the help of antivirus team. So this is something related to the process related to company. So the company to company, it will change. Okay, I will write in a different way. Okay, so what actions is required for the credential harvesting, like a Microsoft page comes, Microsoft fake page comes. So how to react if it is malware is executed? So how to act? Okay, I will write. I think I have that. I have to check it out exactly. Okay, so I will share the document very soon. And we also do few more phishing analysis once because phishing sites are not live for a long time. So let's say if it is coming today morning, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, it may be removed. Let's say you're showing as a Microsoft page on a different website, that is a policy violation, Microsoft policy violation. So it should be removed immediately from very soon. Even the Microsoft or any other, Google also using the artificial intelligence and machine learning machine learning things to identify these kinds of websites. So if they found it immediately, it will be, these tools are the artificial intelligence was always looking at your internet, looking at the internet to see these kinds of fake pages and immediately remove it immediately it will remove. Okay, even if you want to post any website with a Microsoft page, you just do it, and after 1 hour or 2 hours, it won't be there. They will remove it. Okay. That's all. That's a today class. Probably we'll have a we go to the lab section by the next session. So in the next session, the lab session, we're gonna see the session hijacking with the help of WebSuite. That is a sniffing tool which we can hijack the session of between the two devices, and SQL injection also we see. So by giving a special characteristics, and also we do some phishing analysis. And so that's how maybe it may take one day, or it may take 2 days for doing these labs and the phishing. After that, we are going to jump into the Windows, Linux. The basic commands which is required for the security. As a security analyst, what level of understanding is required for you in terms of in the Linux? So you just need a basic commands. That's all. So how do you enter into the directory, and how do you come back? How do you create a directory? And how do you check the CPU performances? What is the space? How do you check the what is that? How much memory space is there? So like that, you can what commands you have to use. Okay, that enough. That knowledge is enough for Linux for the security. I don't think it was much needed more than that. Other than what else? Yeah, so Windows we're gonna see the Active Directory. How does the Active Directory works? The basic one. It's not much needed Active Directory, because that's a different. It goes to the different domain, the Windows domain. So what you have to understand, how does Active Directory works, and in terms of security, so what is the need of protecting Active Directory? So that's a Linux and Windows we will cover in the other two classes, and we will be jumping into the SIEM next. So the SIEM is very important. You have to understand the architecture, components, and how does the rules work. So that will be the next. It will be another 5 classes, use cases, completely 5 classes. Okay, so probably comes around 9 classes. So we're gonna finish it off. 9 classes, another 9 classes. We're gonna finish training. After that, we may have weekly. We may have we're gonna take a couple of labs. We will be concentrating on the labs, which are labs in the sense again. So we're gonna discuss purely the SIEM related. SIEM. Maybe another guy will connect. Another guy. His name is Rishi Verma. He will connect you guys. He gonna teach you the QRadar. QRadar SIM tools, because he is an admin. He has a hands-on pure. He is implementing the QRadar. So he will be connecting you guys. You may take two or maximum 2 to 3 sessions. Any other guy. We have one more guy also there. So Shiva, he is also may connect or may not connect, depends on the situation. Any of one person will connect and take a 2-3 classes. So probably we're gonna. So the training should be a 35 to 50 classes. Probably, sorry, 40 classes, 35 or 40 classes. And it may cover almost 50 hours, 45 to 50 hours. Then, so that's a curriculum. That is a training session. Okay. And so, but these 10 classes are regular. After that, the 5 to 6 classes may happen. Depends on their convenience. If the guy was he was gonna take a weekends, or maybe he gonna take a weekdays. Okay, that is we'll tell you later about after end of the my trainings. Okay, my training, I have another 9 to 10 classes. So after that, the guy will be connected. Okay, if possibly we will be once the training is over, also we will be gonna stop. We will not gonna stop the session, so we will be also cover cloud security if you guys are interested. If you are really people are coming up with I'm very much interested in cloud security. Okay, so if anybody has interested, you guys are coming up and I need a cloud security class, so that we also arrange cloud security in a Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure is a trending right now, cloud security. Yeah, if you guys are coming up with that also, we're gonna take one or two or weekends, completely on Saturday. We'll take a 2 or 3 sessions and then we cover the basics of cloud security. So that's a class, and so I think you guys have a one overview of how does it training. Probably will that's how the process, and we'll end up we'll close this training by 30 before 31st itself, before 31st July. Okay. Any questions?